Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Am I the A-hole? Story 1. AITA for wanting more than a 1998 valuation for my grandmother's ring. Throwaway account. My 25F mother 55F recently asked me if she could buy my paternal grandmother's engagement ring from me. The ring was given to me when my grandmother passed away in 1998. My father had it valued at the time and I have the valuation of $3,800. My parents have since divorced, very nasty and lengthy custody battle. They do not talk and cannot be in the same room, and my mother never got along with my father's mother to the point where my grandparents didn't attend my parents' wedding. It seems strange to me that she would want the ring. My mother said she always admired the ring. My mother assured me the ring will come back to me in her will, so I don't need to charge her market value. She wants to pay the $3,800 valuation price. I said to her that we should get it valued again. I said I would pay for the valuation and she keeps pressuring me, saying it will take time and money and just let her have it at $3,800 as she probably can't afford more than that. I said I'll think about it and it blew up into a big fight and she said I'm not wearing it and not enjoying it, it's just collecting dust in the safe. I didn't say this to my mum, but I think my grandmother would not be happy with my mother wearing the ring. The whole thing seems super weird and sus to me and I need other opinions as I am too close to this to get a read on it. Update: thank you all for your advice and I have taken into consideration everyone's points. This situation was of such grave concern to me that while I had made my mind up not to sell it to her or anyone, I teased out some further information from her on her intentions. I asked for her offer and she said $3,000 was all she could afford. Tried to tell me that diamonds have gone down in value since then, which I told her absolutely not true due to their scarcity. I sent her links to show her that I knew she was trying to give me bogus information and I'm not stupid. I told her I will get it valued for insurance purposes and I might repurpose it into earrings or another setting that suits me more so I can wear it and enjoy it. She then tried turning it into trying to help me financially and I said that $3,000 doesn't really move the dial that much and some things are priceless and not for sale. She couldn't counter that, signed off there. I'm so sad she thinks I'm so dumb and money hungry. Thanks everyone for your support. Story 2. AITA for refusing to help my siblings care for our parents who are in failing health. My parents were awful parents to me, 29M. They did not treat me the way a parent should treat their kid. They were much better with my siblings. Not perfect. But they made the effort to give them love, show them kindness, and to provide for them. I don't know why I was different. And I can't say whether I could be an affair baby or not. I don't care to find out. I cut all ties with my parents when I was 17 and my boyfriend, now husband's, family was willing to let me live with them. They saw how bad my life was at home. Heck, they fed me more often than my parents did. Most of the time anything I did get to eat at my parents' I was berated for costing them money, time, and effort. It was never ending. My parents also liked to drink. It happened often enough that you could easily call it a problem, but I know it got worse after I moved out. My siblings told me it wasn't ever that bad and they were happy with our parents. But they could also acknowledge that our parents treated me like trash and never should have been allowed to keep custody of me. Except now the drinking has caused problems with both my parents' health and my siblings are taking care of them. And they want me to do my part as well. They want us all to prepare for the future if they need more round-the-clock care, and they want us to plan for their funerals when they inevitably die without anything arranged for themselves. They said as the oldest and the most stable I am in the better position to help. I told them while I love them, it would forever haunt me if I helped care for our parents after the shitty life and treatment they gave me. I told them they do not deserve it and I deserve better than to be left making sure they're taken care of. I told them they could always choose to do nothing as well, or they can choose to accept that they are going to take the weight of the responsibility for them, our parents. But that it would be cruel to expect me to make sure my parents are treated better than they treated me, that they have more dignity than they ever allowed me. I told them if I had become very sick as a kid I would have been lucky to see a doctor, let alone have my parents pay the money to care for me. None of them denied that. But they all four, said I should do it for them, for the love I have for them and how hard it is. They're mad I said no. They were even more mad when I told them my primary obligation is to my husband unborn son who will be here next year and not our parents. AITA? Story 3. AITA for not covering myself up when my BF requested me to. Last night, I, 18F, was at my BF's, 19M, dorm, like I usually am on weekends. I was wearing a sports bra, and my BF's friends made a last-minute plan to come over and play some games on his PS5. Now, I absolutely did not have a problem with that because he deserves to spend time with his friends too OFC. But my BF asked if I could put one of his shirts on, so I wouldn't be as exposed to his friends. I was a little annoyed that I had to cover up, but I understood where he was coming from, because I'm fairly busty and it would just be an awkward environment for him and his friends. I go in his closet, and see that there's literally only hoodies. That's when I realized all his shirts were in the laundry, and usually laundry day for him is on weekends. His dorm is really hot so I was in no way gonna wear thick hoodies, and I compromised with him and said I'd just be under the blankets so they don't have to see anything. That's what I planned to do anyways because it's really cozy and I was tired. He was a bit reluctant but agreed nonetheless. His friends came and they were having a good time video gaming. After a while, I was thirsty and completely forgot that I was wearing a sports bra, and went to get water from his fridge. I drank a little bit, then went to the bathroom, and came back to the dorm to his bed. I didn't think much of it at the time, but after his friends left, my BF got mad and said that's why I should have worn his hoodie. I got into an argument with him and told him it really was not a big deal, and that they were probs so focused in their game that they didn't even see me. Plus, I was just wearing a sports bra, so it's not like it was something really slutty. He still doesn't agree with my reasoning so AITA for not covering myself up like he wanted? Story 4. AITA for forcing my BF to tell me his dream. My 23F, BF, 23M, woke me up this morning saying he had a nightmare. He was sad because apparently I cheated on him in his dream and he wanted me to cuddle him in bed for comfort. I asked him if he wanted to talk about it but he said he wanted to talk about it later. I kinda thought that was weird that he wouldn't just tell me the dream and I don't know why he would want to bring it up later. I like to deal with things and move on, and I know it would linger in my mind if he didn't tell me. About an hour later I asked him to just tell me the dream, who/where/what happened, but he refused saying he was uncomfortable telling me and that he will tell me later. That upset me because I feel like he is keeping things from me for no good reason and just being stubborn and weird about it and it makes me uncomfortable. Now he is upset that I am upset and is saying I'm trying to manipulate him and guilt trip him into telling me. I am being honest by telling him that it will weigh on my mind until he tells me, so AITA? Edit. He told me the dream and I wish he hadn't because it's not something either of us want to think about. I feel terrible that I pressured him into doing it. I accept I'm the asshole here and a real dick to my sweet BF. He is upset and anxious, how do I solve it? Story 5. AITA for not letting my daughter go to homecoming. So this weekend is the weekend of my daughter's, 16F, homecoming dance at her school. She wasn't able to go her freshman or sophomore year and she's just been wanting to go really bad so I, 38F, bought her a ticket this year, she has a dress, all of that. But I just checked her grades today and she's failing one of her classes with about 10 missing assignments. Now I've given her so many chances to fix her grade in this one class. I've tried everything. I got her multiple tutors and she didn't like any of them. I tried taking her phone, I even tried telling her cat, that we recently took in from the street, was going to be rehomed if she didn't pull it together. But still, no change. So I told her she wasn't going to homecoming and she just lost it. She ran up to her room crying and slammed her door. Later when she came back out she refused to talk to me and refused to eat her dinner. She was being extremely rude to her father and siblings, and when I called her out on it and asked her what her problem was, she started yelling at me about how all I do is take away her chance to have fun and a normal social life. I honestly thought she was overreacting quite a bit, but now I'm having second thoughts. Story 6. AITA for talking back to the child. For context, a few relatives of mine came over yesterday, including one of my younger cousins. The cousin in context is Pruna, a 6-year-old. At some point, we argued over something in a relatively playful way, as cousins do, and obviously, I didn't take it seriously until she yelled at me to *CK off. Now, I got a little concerned because, Pruna's a kid? Or is this just a normal thing? It probably is, but Pruna had normally been a goody two-shoes for as long as I've known her. So I went to Pruna's mom, my aunt, and told her about Pruna's swearing, and her mom had the most nonchalant reaction ever, like she wasn't concerned at all about it. She casually shrugged it off and then accused me of talking back to her kid, something along the lines of "she's a kid. You should know better than to argue over this." And so on. AITA for even taking this to my aunt? I might be tough for taking this even slightly seriously. I know she's a kid and this is pretty common. But, you know, I was trying to be a nice, responsible, older cousin. Story 7. AITA dad's friend wants my egg to start a family with his new wife. Backstory/details: F25 parents have been divorced my whole life and a few traumatic events. Living at mom's house was bad. Visiting dad was always good. I met the love of my life at 17. Got kicked out at 18. Her family is homophobic and then we were both homeless for a year. Couldn't go to my dad's cause he lived in a far state and my GF's mom was on the brink of death, so leaving wasn't an option. There was one time in 5 years I asked for help from my dad. We started new jobs, we moved into our apt and we wouldn't have had the gas to make it to and from work until we were paid. Never mind food or water. I called him crying and he sent me $200. I was incredibly grateful. My GF's mom passed and we moved to my dad's house. Now I am in college and we are saving money for a house. Growing up, my dad was the safe one. I deeply loved him, but it made me very sad to check FB and they are visiting Italy and Puerto Rico with all my siblings while I laid in the back of the car dehydrated and hungry. They knew my situation, but I've always felt that, because I didn't do things their way, that I was undeserving of their help. I can't tell if I have low self-esteem or I really deserve this. Important note, I have irregular and extremely painful periods. I have to take 1000 milligrams of ibuprofen or I'm on the floor writhing in pain. My whole family knows about it. And I smoke. The problem. A year passed and we sat at the dinner table. My GF was working, so it was just me and my family. My dad has a childhood best friend who is getting married for the first time. He told us that she is a little crazy and that this marriage will be her 4th marriage. She already has kids, but he told us that she really wanted to have a baby with my dad's friend. Again, I am 25 and my dad and his friend and his wife are mid-50s. He then asks if I would be interested in donating my eggs to them. I did not react well and it was never discussed again. I am genuinely disgusted. I don't have many people I can look to for advice, so of course I looked for answers on this app. Can't find anything about your dad's friend wanting your eggs. Also, my GF felt disrespected that they asked while she wasn't there. We want a family and she has a voice in that discussion, being my partner of 7 years. And being gay, we have strong opinions on straight people recklessly bringing children into the world. So yeah. Just distraught and loving my parents less every day that I don't confront this. We have money saved so we wouldn't ever be homeless again, but to think that the rug could just be pulled out from underneath us and losing another family is terrifying. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.